Words like bigot, fool, and racist are now being used to describe Terry Jones, the previously unknown pastor now on the international stage with his radical message of torching Korans. But who exactly is this guy who's ignited a global debate on religious tolerance? A new report examines the personal life and career of the man now despised by so many, and it shows that his problems with Muslims date back well before 9/11. Daily Beast contributor Lynn Waddell joins me now. Lynn, good afternoon, and I know you've done a lot of reporting on this. What are the headlines that you found out about this guy?
Well, it's nice to be here. I would say that one of the most interesting things to me that I found out was that his anti-Muslim message, extreme message, predated 9/11, like you said. I mean, he worked for a church, he ran a church in Germany, and I was told that when he started speaking out very loudly about Muslim control in that area, in that region, that he wasn't well received and then he left. Now, that's quite a different story than his estranged daughter and several of his former church members have given. They have said that he was actually accused by church members of misusing funds, that he had used some of the money to buy a car for his son, to pay salaries of people who worked in his internet business. You know, which is quite an interesting thing itself.
Yeah, and one of the things that I have found most fascinating is one of our correspondents, Kerry Sanders, questioned him, in pretty tough terms on what it is in the Quran that he thinks makes it worthy of burning. And he didn't seem to know very much, if anything, really, about what's in the book, that holy book. And in fact, some of the statements he made are patently wrong. What do we know about his educational background or his training?
Well, actually, quite not a lot. Actually, I know that he was born in Mississippi, and then he lived for a time in St. Louis. But he appears to have gotten involved in the ministry, fairly young. I mean, he was at the church in Germany for almost 30 years. He seems to be the kind of person who, obviously he gets these ideas in his head and doesn't let go of them. But as far as like his educational full background, I can't really speak to that.
Yeah, and let me ask you finally, I mean, did you get a sense from the people you talked to, there's got to be some surprise that he's having the impact he is, but long term, what's likely his impact to be?
Well, that's a very good question. And it depends on whether you mean the impact to himself and his church or to the community. I think that to himself, it's going to be very interesting. Since this has gone on, he has lost his loan on the church. The lender has dropped the loan. They've dropped the insurance policy on the church. It's now listed for sale for $2.9 million. And so, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of future he has after this. And also, his internet server just dropped him today.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Lynn Waddell from the Daily Beast, thanks so much. Meantime, the ever-opinionated Sarah Palin is also weighing in on the Quran burning controversy using her preferred online outlet, Facebook, to join the chorus of voices condemning the plan. She writes, quote, "People have a constitutional right to burn a Quran if they want to, but doing so is insensitive and an unnecessary provocation, much like building a mosque at ground zero."